Many of us want to have spiritual conversations with people, and we certainly know that Jesus wants us to talk to others about him. But where do we start? What do we say? In this video, we're going to be looking at how do we discover their story. It's not about us hijacking the conversation or launching into a monologue or even dumping everything in one go. No, that's not going to get us very far, eh? No, it's about taking time to find out their story. So first of all, we need to approach people with the right heart and attitude. We need to genuinely love and respect people, make time for them, and be prepared to journey with them. And the best way we can express love to people is by listening well and by asking good, wondering questions. So first of all, listening. Listening creates a safe place for people to open up. It quietly says, I accept you, I respect you, I've got time for you. It demonstrates humility and a willingness to learn about them. And when we listen carefully, it shows real interest in the person. It's tuning into what they're saying and their story rather than thinking about the next thing you're going to say. And closely linked to listening is wondering. Asking good, open-ended questions is a key to finding out their story, to find out where they're at. Wondering questions show a genuine desire to know and understand the person better, their story, their worldview, their interests, what makes them tick. And if you don't know where to start, well, just use everyday questions to open up a conversation. How are you? How's your family? Show an interest in them, their health, and what they're doing. What have you been up to? How do they spend their time? Maybe ask about their work. Maybe ask what they've been up to at the weekend. And listen. And depending on what comes up, maybe go a little bit deeper. Maybe they've shared about a health scare or, a stressful situation at work. Well, how have you been coping with that? How are you doing? And these sorts of questions show a genuine concern for them. And it's in this context that we can naturally go deeper and start to talk about spiritual things. And this is where wondering questions can really help us. Here are some examples of some wondering questions you could use. And you can certainly think up your own and see what's going to suit you in your context. Hey, I'm wondering, do you ever think about spiritual things? Do you ever think about God and see where that leads? Or I'm wondering, have you ever prayed? How did it go? Or tell me, do you have a religious background at all? Or ask them, have you ever felt close to God? Would you like to be close to him? And see where that leads. Or I'm wondering, is there anything you would like me to pray for? I was recently in the mall, bumped into some friends that I hadn't met up with for a long while, and we grabbed a coffee in the moment, and they were sharing some stuff that was going on in their life, and clearly there were things that were really pressing in on them, and they were anxious about stuff, had to make some difficult calls. And during the conversation, I felt the Holy Spirit prompt me. And so I said to them, hey, would you be open for me praying with you before I go? And they jumped at it. They loved the idea. So I prayed with them. And at the end, one of them said, man, I felt really emotional as you prayed. And it was really like the sense of the presence of God came and his peace came. It was just a beautiful moment. How about this one? I've been thinking about our last conversation, and I've been wondering. And what I like about that is it shows your interest in the person, you've been thinking about them, you remember the last conversation, and you just want to take it further. Try this. I'm wondering, if you could live your whole life again, what would you do differently? Would you change anything? And see where that leads. Here's one I've used. Have you ever explored the Bible to see what it says about Jesus? Would you be interested? And see where that goes. And how about this? I'm wondering, would you ever consider inviting God to change your life? A friend of mine was recently talking to a family member, and this family member was opening up about a sense of brokenness and lostness and just really getting stuck in life. And my friend said, hey, it sounds like you could do with an outside power in your life. Would you be open to that? What a great wondering question. And it really opened up conversation and has led to further conversations since then. So you may want to spend some time now thinking about what kind of wondering questions you could see yourself using, maybe in a conversation with a friend or a colleague. So if we want to start spiritual conversations with people and go deeper with people and help them to connect with God, we need to love and respect them enough to discover their story first. And the best way to do that is by learning to listen well and by asking good, wondering questions.